Now, when I saw there was a Black & Decker 20 volt weed eater or trimmer, I thought there's no way this thing has enough power to cut the weeds at my house. Now sure, maybe someone that's got a small yard in a subdivision, but not my yard. I sort of like to let things grow a little, you know? Enjoy the rain, live life to the fullest is what I say. Okay, so maybe not. I've got the 12-inch version with a 2.5 amp hour 20 volt battery, which is a little bit bigger than my 1.5 amp hour 20 volt that I've got in my Black & Decker drill. I know there's some other variations out there using slightly different size batteries, which can be confusing, but I wanted to try this 20 volt so that I can interchange my batteries with my drill and impact driver. It also appears to be the same charger that I've got for my drills, so I guess that's good. Could be a little faster on charging though. The only thing that you have to put together is the guard, which is held on by one screw, so pretty simple to do. Now the handle on here does seem a little bit on the cheap side. It's all plastic and it doesn't really feel that sturdy. Plus it doesn't have a rubber grip like some of the others out there I've seen. It does move in several different angles though. It is pretty comfortable to use. This one also has the little wheel that's above the trimmer head, which can be used for edging your sidewalk and driveway, that sort of thing. Not sure if I'm going to be using that much, but still a nice option to have. It also has the automatic feed spool, which actually works pretty good on here. In fact, they have a gray button that you can push to make the line come out a little bit each time, and it seems to be pretty reliable. It does have a nice rubber grip there in the handle where the trigger is, makes it really nice to use, pretty comfortable as well. You also have 2 different speeds, which is nice, although I find myself using the higher level most of the time, so I'm not really sure if I need the lower setting, but I guess it could be good if you have something a little more delicate that you don't want to damage. But to be honest, my goal was to buy this, try it out, and then realize it doesn't have enough power, and then try something else. So after letting my weeds grow for a couple weeks or so, I felt it was time to test this out. First, I went around the rear patio section, which, as you can see, has some pretty nice sized weeds, and surprisingly, it didn't seem to struggle much. So then I went over to another spot that's got a little bit thicker weeds. Somehow it got through that as well, but it's probably almost dead, right? I mean, it's only a 20 volt battery. So then I trimmed the outside of our dog fence, figuring the battery would die before I finished, but it kept going. So I trimmed the inside of the fence, around the house, around our flower bed, around a couple other things, and before I knew it, about a half hour or so had went by, and I was done trimming pretty much everything that I needed to. And shockingly, the battery was still going strong. But yeah, I can tell this weed trimmer doesn't have as much power as my gas-powered one. But I'm still shocked that this can cut as much as it did, especially considering the weeds were pretty high and the battery didn't die, plus the power felt the same pretty much the whole time. Well, I can't say this is perfect, but the fact that it did so well, trimming pretty much everything that I normally do, I guess in a way I was wrong. A 20 volt weed trimmer like this from Black & Decker is probably going to be powerful enough for probably about 80% of people out there. I know it surprised me on just how well it works and the battery life so far. So yeah, I'll definitely be keeping this one. Maybe the only thing I might like a little better is if instead of a 12-inch, it was 13 or 14-inch. But like I said, it cut pretty much everything that I normally trim without much trouble. And that was pretty surprising to me, considering this is only 20 volt power.